Hello, thanks for joining us. I am Bonnie Wagner Stafford with Ingenium Books and happy to be here on this Earth Day, live on April 22nd. Now the replays won't obviously be April 22nd, but here with health coach and author Heidi Hackler. Heidi, welcome.
Hello, and happy Earth Day.
Yes, thank you. Now, we thought it was kind of funny. Heidi and I have known each other for a few years and worked together on the journal that we're about to talk about today. But Heidi is in Mexico and I'm in Mexico. Heidi's on her boat in Barra de Navidad and I'm trying to get back on my boat up in San Carlos. But normally, well, not normally, you're American, I'm Canadian. Yes?
Oh, hang on one second. Kirk, sorry. You need to turn that off because we're going to get back feed from that.
I also can hear it. So yeah,
Okay.
It's nice that Kirk is so enthusiastic that he's watching us. Hi, Kirk. But yeah, there's a little bit of noise. Anyway, so Heidi, one of the things that we do at Ingenium Books is work with professional entrepreneurs who want to use books in the pursuit of their business goals. And often that has a marketing component, which, we'll talk about in a little bit. But in your case, you're a health coach. Can you tell me a little bit about that?
Yeah, so as a health coach, I basically aim to help people, inspire people to live healthier lives. And through food as medicine, as Hippocrates said, I think it was Hippocrates said, let food be thy medicine and medicine be thy food. And so much of what we put into our body in the form of either food or even put on our body with health and beauty products or things like that have so many toxins in them. Maybe you're getting toxins from pesticides, maybe you're getting toxins from the sunscreen or lotions you're putting on your body. And our body is being bombarded with so many toxins today that it never was in the past, 300,000 years. And so as a health coach, I try to help educate people on what they're actually putting into and onto their bodies and how those toxins can affect them down the road, how they can mess up their hormones, how they can lead to autoimmune diseases, how they can lead to heart disease and cancer and dementia and things like that. And it's now been shown in studies that basically 85 to 90% of all these chronic illnesses are completely preventable or reversible with diet and lifestyle changes. So that's super awesome. That's really good news. Just because you have heart disease in your family doesn't mean you're going to get it or suffer from it. But people do need to pay attention to what they're eating and if they're exercising or not, or some people are exercising too much. There's actually such a thing as over-exercising, which is doing a lot of stress to your body as well. So there's all kinds of different ways that you can look at what you're doing to your body and just realizing that your body is basically doing its best to survive at all times. So, garbage in, garbage out. If you're just constantly eating it crap food, it's going to give you crap back.
Right. So you were using a tool with the clients that you work with to help them make the connection and pay attention to this garbage in, garbage out, or changing the garbage in, garbage out. Tell me how you were using the information that we're going to talk about in your book, Food, Mood, Gratitude Journal.
So I was using a PDF file that I had created in my past life before I studied nutrition and holistic health. I was actually a graphic designer for about 30 years. So I am grateful for that background, which has enabled me to make a lot of, forms and things like that for my clients to use, handouts and things that make it easy for them. And so I had created this food, mood, and gratitude PDF file that I was using as a handout and emailing to them to track their foods and moods in particular, and gratitudes as well. So with foods, many people don't realize that they have a food intolerance. They may have a food intolerance. It's very common. Some estimates think as many as 90% of people have an undiagnosed food intolerance.
Right.
And Some people may express that intolerance with gastrointestinal upset, or it may be a skin rash, or it may be a headache or fatigue or issues sleeping. There's all different types of ways that it may manifest. And so when people aren't aware of that, they're just eating whatever they're eating, and they have chronic headaches, or they chronically have insomnia or something like that. So when you start tracking everything you're eating and writing it down, and then also tracking your moods and your feelings and how, are you constantly having headaches? Are you constantly having diarrhea? Are you, not able to sleep or waking up in the middle of the night? Many, many of those things can be directly correlated to what you're eating. And people don't really realize that. They don't think about that. We didn't grow up
Right.
being taught that what you put in your body is going to manifest and affect you in some way. So to use the food mood gratitude tool, I would give that to my clients and ask them to track what they're eating for a week or two and try to correlate their moods and also correlate their elimination. Many, many, many people don't realize that if you're not going poop at least once a day, that is considered constipation. And what happens with constipation is your body reabsorbs the toxins out of that stool. So many people are like, oh yeah, no, my bowel movements are totally normal. I go like 2 or 3 times a week. I'm like, that's not normal.
Right.
But people don't know that. People don't talk about that stuff. And so when you track this, I also have a place to track your poop every day and how often you're going and what the consistency is like. And people don't want to look at their poop or talk about their poop, but that is a really good way to figure out what's going on with your body inside.
Right. So how did you go from using a PDF that you were sending by email to having this beautiful tracker that we'll take a look at in a second, published and available for sale on Amazon?
Thanks. So great. Yeah, great question. So I have been using the tracker for several years. And then one of my clients actually said, why isn't this available to the public? Why isn't this a book? You need to publish this. You need to make it available to everybody. And I was like, okay, yeah, I guess I could do that. I never really thought about it. I just didn't really occur to me. So
yeah. You have a copy there, and while you're holding up a copy, I put a comment in here looking for people to tell us where they're joining us from, and then we'll have people ask us questions. But so that's a beautiful cover. Now you're a graphic designer. You can kind of tell.
I drew the cover.
You actually created.
I actually hand drew the cover. I did it I guess I created it in online, but I did hand draw the elements and then put it all together online. But basically, they're in the holistic realm of wellness that I am trained in. There are multiple things that we call primary foods and secondary foods. And the food that you actually put in your mouth is the secondary food. The primary foods are everything else that nourishes you, from your career to your family to your education and spirituality, and creativity is one of them. And many, many, many people don't get enough creativity in their life. And creativity sparks all of us to feel better and just, live happier, healthier lives. So I purposely made this cover so that people could actually color it in and get a little bit of creativity into their life. And adult coloring is really a big thing nowadays. So
awesome. And we weren't able to get the paper quality quite right for that. There just weren't, the options available for us, but the thought is there, and I'm sure people can, figure it out.
Well, on the inside, so the cover, you can actually color it with magic markers. The cover is coated. It has a coating sheen, so you can't really use anything but a magic marker on the cover.
Yeah.
But then inside, you have the title page. Whoops.
Yeah.
The title page is just regular paper, so you could color that with color pencils or crayons or magic markers or whatever you wanted to do there.
So in a sense, you're practicing what you preach, and you're providing a way, even though the people think about, okay, I'm going to track my breakfast, my lunch, and whether I'm happy or sad and how many times I poop, but you're actually providing them with an opportunity to tap into more of the things that will actually help influence their overall health.
Exactly. And even when you look inside, like for example, with the moods, you can color in the little, like, how are you feeling today? And then there's room to write about it down below. And then also there are gratitudes in here. So scientific research has shown that if you write down 3 things each day that you are grateful for, you will become happier overall than people that don't write down things that they're grateful for, I guess,
Yeah.
gratitudes. So I have a place in there for people to write down 3 gratitudes a day just to help boost their overall sense of well-being as well.
So this was a bit of a different project. So you're a health coach and you understand food and you understand all of those things about, the components of someone's health and how they're feeling. And you're a designer. So those things obviously really help and are important for the project of creating the book. But it was a little bit of a different thing. You had to think about things a little bit differently. Can you talk about that just a bit?
Yeah, for sure. Well, I've always kind of been big into journaling, and I've bought lots of different journals that are out there. There's all kinds of different ones for, different tracking different things or just writing your daily journals or whatever. So I'm kind of a journalaholic. And so I had a lot
The
of
first
different
step is to admit, right?
Right, exactly.
Yeah.
I had a lot of different ones that I could refer to and see, like, what did I like and not like about different journals that I've used myself. And like so many of them, I would get one and think, oh, this is really cool. And I'd use it for a few days or a few weeks and then put it down. And then I'd have to go buy another one that was cooler or whatever. So I did put a lot of thought into that. And like one of the things that I have in here is because for me personally, I can never journal every single day. It just doesn't happen. So instead of putting a date or whatever, I just have a line. Let's see if you can see that.
Yeah.
So today's date. So you can just write whatever date that happens to be. So that was one thing I wanted to, have for people. And then just to make it really easy for people. So there's a lot of like, whoops, let's see here. I don't know if you can see that. Oh, other page.
Move it up just a bit.
So, okay. So last night I slept, like a rock, or restless, or difficulty falling asleep, or whatever. So they can just kind of check the box. They don't have to write too much if they don't want to write too much. People are really busy, and I get that. And so even using this as a tool for my own clients, I just wanted to make it easy and fun for them. So I was like, I'm all about having fun. So you can see like big wide spaces. There's lots of room to write, but you don't have to write too much. And then so yeah, and then on the divider, at the beginning of the book, I actually have some information on why use a food, mood, gratitude journal, so that you can kind of figure out, why you're doing that. And basically you're becoming a detective for your own body. So this is to help you write down the clues to, think of yourself as a detective and write down all the clues that you're finding. And I'm a big, huge science geek. And so I really liked being able to correlate different things with each other and, run your own little experiments on your body. Like you think you're
not too crazy though.
Right?
Not too crazy.
No. But I had a client just this week who I have been talking with her about a potential dairy sensitivity. And I said, for a variety of reasons, I really think she's has a dairy sensitivity or an allergy to dairy. And she was not buying it. She was like, no. I love my dairy. I'm going to eat my dairy all day long, every day, And so I just had her try for like 2 weeks. Can you just try going dairy free for 2 weeks and see what happens? And so I had a call with her a week ago, and it was just remarkable. I could hear in her voice the complete difference of her being off of dairy. She was no longer congested. She sounded really clear, and it was just like amazing. And I said, wow, you can really hear the difference in you. And she's like, really, you can? And so I started asking her if she had noticed differences. And she said, yeah, actually, I kind of feel better. So then I had a call with her just yesterday, and she sounded all congested again. And I said, any chance you've been eating dairy recently? And she's like, okay, I cheated. I had a cheese sandwich yesterday. And I was like, I can tell. Like, I even not looking at her, just hearing her on the phone, I could tell. And she said, wow, that's amazing. And you can actually hear the difference. And I said, I can. And so she said, yeah, I'm going to stop eating dairy anymore. I can realize that it's not, healthy for me.
So let's talk about the publishing of the journal. So you took it from being something that you used one-to-one with clients or people that asked you and put it on a platform where it's one to many. So it's available, anywhere. It's published in, however many countries that Amazon is in. And I know that we published just before Christmas. I think it was early December. And you've sold in the US, obviously, in Canada, the UK, Germany, Australia,
Sweden.
Sweden, yeah. So you're reaching a broader audience. What difference is that making, do you think, for you?
So, well, it's interesting because one of the reasons I was a little bit reluctant actually to publish it at first, because I thought people need coaching. They need to know how to use this tool. And without having one-on-one coaching, how effective is that going to be? And so it's one of the reasons why I made sure the front end content really talked about all the different things to sort of help coach them. And in the back of it, I have my contact if they feel like they need further health coaching, that they can contact me for that. But I think that I did a pretty good job with that. And one of my health coaching friends actually came out and said, "Oh, you need to be marketing health coaches with this book," which I hadn't even occurred to me at all. I just was going to market, people who wanted to change their health themselves. But I did start marketing to health coaches through a variety of different organizations and things that I belong to. And I was really pleasantly surprised that a lot of health coaches are now purchasing my book and using it with their clients. And one gal who is now a friend of mine, I didn't know her before, but she purchased quite a few copies of my book, and she's now giving it to all of her clients when they sign up to work with her. So I think that's fantastic. I'm very happy about that.
Yeah, no, that's really good. And, we're not talking about a ton of money, but certainly you have been compensated for the time and effort that you put in. And probably the bigger payoff is the positive impact that you're paying forward with putting this product out there and allowing other people to use it. Yeah. So the book is one pillar of what you do to market yourself and market the information that you have to share. Mm-hmm. Tell us what some of the other things that you're doing to market your business. You're very, I know that you're very active on getting your messages out there, but tell us what are some of the other things you do?
Well, partly because I live on my boat in Mexico, I have to do everything online. So I see my clients virtually online, and I have to totally market myself 100% online. So I do blog. I've actually had a holistic health and wellness blog for over 6 years now, or just almost 7 years. I think I'm coming up on 7 years with that. And which in the blog sphere, I guess most blogs don't survive more than 3 years. So I'm kind of psyched about that it's been going for 7 years. But I write all types of different articles on holistic health and wellness. I recently went back to school starting in January for a 3-year program in functional medicine so that I can add that functional medicine component to my coaching. And functional medicine basically is just looking at the root cause of what is causing any ailment. So as Dr. Mark Hyman likes to say, depression is not a deficiency of Prozac, right?
Right.
There's a cause for that depression, whether it's food related or something else. Every single ailment or dis-ease in our body has a root cause to that. And with modern medicine, they generally like to just prescribe a pill for every ill and,
symptom treatment rather than identification of the cause.
Functional medicine helps to get to the root cause. So my articles that I write on my blog are functional medicine based and helping people to get to the root cause of what's going on with them, helping see that we all have the tools within us and within our refrigerator and pantry to pretty much heal most things going on with us, which I think is pretty amazing. But I also use Facebook. I have a Facebook business page. I do Instagram more or less consistently, although sometimes sporadically. Some days I just feel overwhelmed by social media and I'm like, I want to get off that bandwagon. And so some days I just kind of revolt and don't do it. But I definitely notice, where attention goes, energy flows, that concept. And the more that I put into my business, the more I get back out of it. And it's just proven to me over and over and over again. I also rep a couple of different products. I am a rep for Neil's Yard Remedies, which is all organic health and beauty products. And then I currently sell 3 different lines of professional lines of vitamins and supplements. So I make a little bit of, income from those as well. So it's kind of a 3-ring circus with my health coaching, my blogging, my social media, my book. And the products that I, sell. It's kind of just keep all those balls in the air and
Yeah.
go.
Yeah. So you actually wrote for, when I first met you, I think you were either just stopping or you were still writing for Deepak Chopra.
Yeah.
So your own blog, but you've actually written content for some other fairly high profile people.
Yeah, I did write for the Chopra Center for Deepak Chopra for about a year. I blogged for them. I had taken a lot of courses through the Chopra Center and got to know some people there and had met Deepak in person once or twice and was really grateful to be asked to write for them, because I just thought like, oh my gosh, I couldn't even believe they were asking me to write for them. And it was a really great gig, but living on my sailboat and moving around Mexico and not always having great Wi-Fi, I wasn't really able to keep up with their schedule and demand as much as they would have liked. So I finally just had to give up that gig, which made me sad, but
Yeah.
great exposure and really great opportunity to write for something like the Chopra Center. So
back to the Food, Mood, and Gratitude Journal. Let's talk a little bit about why now might be a really good time for people to, people are stuck at home and not going out anywhere and maybe a little more stressed. So is this a good time for people to think about starting this kind of journaling and self-examination?
That is a great question, Bonnie. And yeah, it's the perfect time. In fact, it couldn't be a better time, because what they're finding with COVID-19 right now is that there are a lot of underlying conditions that lead to the most severe cases. The people who are ending up in the hospital on ventilators or dying generally all have at least 1 or 2 secondary conditions, including obesity is one of the highest ones. So anybody who is considered obese or, highly overweight is at an extremely high risk factor for getting COVID-19. And then underlying conditions such as metabolic syndrome, which includes high blood sugar, prediabetes, diabetes, even heart disease. All of those people have a much higher propensity of being getting COVID and doing really poorly with it. So it's the best time, more than ever, to take the bull by the horns and really turn your health around right now with your food, with your diet, with your exercise, with your gratitudes, things like that.
Right.
So
and it's nice, you can order it on Amazon. You don't have to actually go out anywhere. It can be delivered. Amazon is prioritizing the deliveries of products that are necessary. So that's all a good thing. And, somebody could make the case that, hey, this is necessary for me right now. But so it's all, safe and quarantine friendly and that sort of thing. I've earlier put a link up to your author page on the Ingenium Books website. You can get to the book on Amazon from that link. And the final thing that we'll chat about a little bit is, anyone who has the book and hasn't left you a review, we would like to put a little shout out for review. There are 7 reviews up there, which is great. All of them 5-star. But reviews are a really important way for other people to determine whether a product is right for them. And so it's helpful for the authors, of course, but it's really about helping other people make that decision. And so, honest reviews, we're not saying you must go and put a 5-star. We love 5 stars, but, we're looking for the honest reviews. And again, it's something that you're doing to help other people. It's kind of like when you wear your mask, when you go out with COVID-19, you're actually not preventing yourself from getting the virus. You're actually doing it for other people. You're helping reduce the risk that you're spreading the virus a little bit. So maybe any last words about your journal, Heidi, or what that process was like?
Well, just from a graphic design standpoint, even though I was used to doing books and layouts for all kinds of things, this was definitely a different process working with Amazon. And even though I've been a designer for, 30 years and been able to send books to press and things like that, using their templates was a little bit cumbersome. They're not your standard graphic design template. And even for someone like me, it was a little bit challenging at times. So yeah, I really encourage anyone, if you've got, yeah, exactly. If you've got a journal idea in you, get it out there. Talk to Bonnie at Ingenium Books and get your journal out there to the public to use it, because every single one of us has something to offer, and we all offer things from a little bit different perspective. So whatever your idea is, there's no one out there doing the exact same thing that you are in the exact same way.
Right.
And so there's room for tons more journals out there.
Yeah, journals and workbooks, and it doesn't have to be the full. You didn't go through and write the big scientific tome on the connection between the food and the thing. There is information in there, but it's really more about the tool to help people learn. Well, this has been fantastic. I want to thank you very much for joining us all the way from Barra de Navidad and joining me on Facebook Live. Mexico, talking to elsewhere in the world. The virtual world is fantastic. And we'll look for updates, and we'll watch this space for any comments or questions that come through. And thank you very much.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Bonnie. Thanks everybody for being here. Happy Earth Day.